new pope. Let's go to our first guest this morning. Just briefly, Will, then we'll have to take a break and come back and talk with you a little bit further. But, Will, tell us a little bit about what you discovered in terms of what's going on with Henry Ford. Will Hild is our guest this morning, Executive Director of Consumer Research. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be with you, and thank you for the interest in this campaign. What we're really doing is calling to light what I call the trifecta of wokeness that we're finding in a lot of hospitals, and I'm sorry to say we found it at Henry Ford in spades. And what I mean by that is basically three categories of the hospital being distracted from its core mission of treating patients and instead focusing on cozying up to woke activists and woke politicians and pushing a really radical extreme ideology. So specifically, you've got, I'll take it from least bad to worst bad. You've got climate activism to a level that's going to raise costs for patients. And what I mean by that is there's a number of net zero pledges that the hospital have taken in money, huge amounts of money that the hospital has spent trying to pursue net zero. And the problem with that, it may sound good, the problem with that is that has to be recouped somewhere. That money has to come from somewhere. And ultimately, the only place it can come from is either the insurance companies, which means premiums go higher, or the patients themselves, which means costs go higher. So whenever you see a company engaging in this kind of tilting at windmills, so to speak, it spells bad news for the consumers of their product long term. The second thing is they have DEI up to the wazoo. That's the technical term I hear from the medical community. They have even said, their CEO has been quoted saying, that they integrate DEI into everything that they do. And DEI is effectively just racial discrimination. It's anti-white, anti-Asian discrimination. And that means that doctors that you may see weren't picked for their merit or their quality or their competence. They were picked for, being counting race and sex. And so, same thing with the leadership for the hospital. And then last, but definitely not least, I said the worst of the worst. It almost, the other two don't even matter compared to what this, they brag about doing harmful, irreversible sex change surgeries and procedures and injections.
Yeah, that is a big topic I want to get into. I mean, the whole thing is just horrendous, but this is really important to expose this to people because this is a huge hospital system. And again, I'm very familiar with it because I'm based in metropolitan Detroit, so very familiar with this. And what's so interesting, and we can pick this up, Will, at the other side of the break. We'll have another good 7-8 minutes with you. Is this is such a 90-10, 80-20 issue? This whole thing now, DEI is imploding all over the place, and yet you have some of these entities such as hospitals or universities that are hanging on to this when it's such a losing issue, or regardless of people are politically, many people are against this stuff as we see with those numbers. More with the Executive Director of Consumer Research on what's going on with a particular hospital system, and they're not alone in this, unfortunately. Hopefully that will continue to change.